Ready to generate more leads from your website, Google, and Facebook without having to spend money on ads? Our platform provides you with an easy-to-use communication stream that sucks in free leads from your website, Google, and Facebook, enabling you to reply and convert them into customers from your computer or from our mobile app. Once you've converted a satisfied customer, you can shoot them a Google review request with a click of a button, which will explode your positive reviews and increase your position in search engines. The system will also pull new reviews from Google and Facebook right into your conversation stream, where you can read and reply. Jumpstart your business by getting started today.
Hey guys, happy Tuesday to you. Thank you so much. This is really informal, but I've always dreamt of the four of us getting together and to just kind of like just having a freestyle, just talk about everything. We just have those personalities and we mesh very well. And I love you guys to death. I think of you often. So I just wanted to have something where we get together and kind of fellowship and talk about our respective businesses, how we could work together, advice, things of that nature. It's not set. I have no particular questions other than kind of introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your business, what you do, how you serve, and we can kind of just take the conversation as it goes. How does that sound? Is that okay?
I think it's cool that you're concerned our thermonuclear charisma and charm is overwhelming the other people in your rooms. So you have to get us all together in one place where no outsiders can be harmed. That's beautiful.
I like it. I like it.
Love it.
No, I'm 100% with you, dude. I'm 100% with you. I totally agree. And I'm always looking for those places where you can get the standouts, the people that you really connect and click with, and then have that time to, like you say, just kind of throw out the ideas and do a little spitballing and, just getting a feel for where everybody's at and how we can plug in and help each other and receive from each other as well. So I'm with you. I'm tracking 100%.
So with that being said, I guess I'll let you go first. Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your business, what you do, and maybe how you serve. I don't know. Introduce yourself. You get at that.
All I can say is that is an excellent question. Who am I and what do I do? I'm Robin Stern, and I am your Google guru. And what that means is I help you and your business to leverage all of the free products and services from Google to save you money and get your business more exposure online where people are actually searching, which is Google. So if you want some free stuff from Google, you need to reach out to me. We estimate that one of our businesses saves approximately $20,000 to $25,000 a year using all of Google's free products and services. And if that interests you, let's have a one-to-one and I can show you how we do it. Again, when you need people to know what you do, you need your Google guru. And that's me, Robin Stern. So back over to you, Cortez.
I could have used you this morning when I had a call with one of my merchant processing clients. Your Google guru. I love it. Thank you so much. All right. Which one of you guys wants to introduce next? Sean? Charles?
Go ahead, Sean. Take it away.
Okay. So this is difficult because I guess really I should introduce myself as Sean from Be More Social. And what we do is we want to entertain, educate, and inspire people to do their own social media. We help to coach business owners to understand how to do the missing pieces of social media. So what I mean by that is I'm going to be your guide to help you understand what social stalking, social listening, and how to keep that post that you spent all that time on continuing to surf that social network and create more opportunities for you to make business.
Okay, I like it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Charles, you're up next.
Well, my name's Charles Higgins. I'm the founder of Pinnacle AI, and we are a CRM company. Simply put, is we typically replace anywhere from 8 to 13 different platforms, and we combine all this technology into one, utilizing AI and automation to its fullest, so that you can get back to doing what you're good at, which is working on your business, creating genuine connections like I have with these gentlemen, and not getting caught up in the day-to-day mundane tasks that we all know there's a benefit from, but it may not be the best use of your time. So if we can help you automate that, use AI to not only bring all the tools together that you need to completely run your business, but also create a better customer experience, a better customer journey, get better insights into your customer's journey, and ultimately deliver better customer service. And because that's what makes a business stay around. It's easy to get a business going. It's hard to get it to stay around, keep those customers in your business. And we want to help you do that by automating your business.
All right, I love it.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, I guess I can introduce myself. I am Cortez Thompson. I'm in the round table with these wonderful gentlemen. I am a business owner. I do everything, right? But today I'm going to talk more about my marketing firm because it kind of goes in congruence with you guys. So my company is called Axum Global Solutions. We are a digital marketing agency, but I really consider us more of solution providers and helping businesses generate more lead and more traffic for their business. And one of the reasons that I wanted to have all of you guys on today is because in our respective businesses, somehow or another, we're all in that circle of helping clients kind of generate more leads and generate more traffic. So my company basically does that. We help with creating websites. We do pay-per-click campaigns. We do social media ads and advertising. But really, I work with guys like this to help create a complete solution for our clients to not only generate leads, but to have that lead flow going so that it's a consistent cycle of business. So with that being said, I just wanted to, first of all, tell you how this whole thing first started. We had a networking beast on Friday and Charles was there. And I'm like, Charles, I've been threatening to do this for, I want to say almost a year. I've been threatening to say, we're going to get together and we're going to have like this thing. And I'm like, it's 2023. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. And I said, I wanted to make sure that Robin and Sean were here, but I didn't know if they were going to be able to attend on the day that we set this up. And I'm so happy that you guys are here. But I just love you guys every day, every Friday when we have Networking Beast. I just look forward to knowing that I'm going to see you and we're going to talk about some jam sessions and we're just going to have a good time. And I know, Robin, you and I have often said that we're both kind of nuts, but I like that kind of nuts. What have you done since the inception? And I'm talking about, gosh, almost a year ago, we were talking about these baby steps that we're going to take to really level up for 2023, 2022. What have you done? What's the journey been like for you so far? And how can we help in the future?
Well, man, I'll tell you, it's been a year, no doubt. And the baby steps that we started with, hey, I think maybe I should do something with this Google thing to, I'm doing a lot of stuff with this Google thing to, I am like this close to being finished with the content and it's ready to go to the editor and the publisher. But in the meantime, just the threat of having a book has created a buzz locally here. And guys, I'm telling you, I have never lined up so many customers just throwing money at me. I write a book. That's all I can tell you. Figure it out. Write the damn book. I literally, I've done more work in the last 6 days, and I have more work lined up for the next 6 days than I've probably done in the last 6 months. And I mean, to that level, it's phenomenal what just happened. My brain's exploding. People are just, when can I get on your calendar? How fast can you get my stuff done? And then they say, hey, if I need to pay you more to cut the line, I'm like, so there's a couple of folks that are really in a pinch. And I threw a number out there that was, to me, ridiculously outrageous. I mean, like, there's no way they're going to do this. And they both, on a Zoom call, looking me in the face, said, all right, that sounds good. So when can we do that? I just was like, what? Now, okay, I'm not going to complain, not at all, but I'm just freaking out because I'm saying, okay, well, if they're willing to pay that, what's the next guy willing to pay? Like, what is the value of what I do? So there's the rub, right? Is I don't want to price myself out of a project, but at 58, I've learned I really don't want to underprice it and work my ass off for nothing. So I'm getting, I guess, financially stable enough or whatever, or just maybe mentally and emotionally stable enough to just go, this is this, to me, ridiculously outrageous number that I'm going to charge you. And they go, okay. That is it's a great feeling. It's scary as hell when you put it out there. So that's, I guess, maybe my only little battle I'm still dealing with is just going ahead and throwing that number out there. And like I said the other day, telling people what you charge, right? So that they know what they're getting themselves into, and then allowing them to come in and get on your calendar so they can give you money. And so the issue that, I guess, to wrap it back up, is understanding that value, right? Understanding that you have that value, and giving yourself the right to say, yeah, it's $500 an hour, and not even batting an eyelash, and having people go, okay, when can we sign up? You know, how many hours is it going to take? And I'm just like, okay, you know, I guess the minimum wage going up also raised the wage of trained and skilled people as well. So that's really, I'm telling you, I'd like another 10 hours in a day, right? Maybe if I didn't drink beer in the evening, I'd get another hour or two after dinner. But you know, I'm riding a wave right now, guys, and I appreciate all y'all being a part of it and coming along with me. You know, Charles, what you're doing and the CRM thing is, you kind of kicked me in the ass to go ahead and follow through, because I had like a trial, just, you know, log in and play with it if you want kind of invitation, and I didn't touch it for months. The value was just wasted on me. And then once I started seeing what you were doing, I was like, oh, this is the same thing. I can do the same thing. And that really encouraged me to embrace it. And now, you know, I'm fully into it and rocking and rolling with it. But I did get my affiliate link set up with you, and I got a couple people that I'm fixing to hand it to. So
Awesome.
yeah, so we should get them set up and running shortly, and you getting them onboarded. And I'm really selling you, so don't let me down.
No, I won't.
Yeah, I'm telling him, look, because I got this one guy's a plumber, and his wife, and he wasn't planning on quitting his job quite yet. And we did their website on Friday, and they were trying to decide, do we put just a picture of a job he's done, or do we put the picture of the family, right? Because it's their last name, familyplumbing.com. So she put a poll on Facebook and tagged him in it, and his boss saw it on Sunday and promptly said, you don't have a job on Monday.
Oh,
So she feels a little responsible for him getting the hit the road jack, but they're stupid excited about it because he has a ton of work and he's really good at what he does, and they've got the money to go ahead and invest in it. So I'm sending them your way very shortly.
Awesome.
She saw mine and was like, I have to have that. I have to have that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, you've done that and kicked me in the ass. And then Sean, you know, getting with you and hanging out and talking to you, there's no better encourager in my life, I don't think, right now than Sean Courtney. So if I ever get divorced, Sean, I'm married.
What would Robin do?
We'll be living in your house, so you can tell me how great I am every day. Okay.
100%. I should have been a motivator. I'm in the wrong career. That's what it is. I'm in the wrong career.
Man. There's guys like me starving for somebody to say, hey, great job, man. You know, and you come along and you're like, I'm gonna make a t-shirt. What would Robin Stern do? I'm like, head's blowing up. Like, Sean loves me, man. So thanks for the encouragement, man. You're a great motivator, a great supporter, and I'm always grateful for that.
I want to ask
Thank you.
this question. You were talking about understanding your value and putting out like this crazy number. And I remember last year I was really big about Impossible Goals 2022, right? And that kind of segues into that a little bit of just having this, no one will ever do that. And then they do, and you realize how much more I can actually do. Charles, Sean, have you guys had that?
I mean, I think it's a problem that a lot of entrepreneurs run into. And I think a big part of it is that, you know, you look at what we do every day. When we look at it ourselves, we're like, we know there's value, but we kind of naturally undervalue what we do because we've been doing it or involved in it so long that
It seems
it's
easy
kind of
to
like,
us. It
right,
seems easy to us.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I go to the, you know, the example of a mechanic. because it's something that everyone can relate to. We've all had this frustration of, why am I paying this mechanic 2 hours to fix something when it only took him an hour? Well, that goes to exactly what Robin was talking about. When you're looking at your value proposition, you have to understand that, yes, Robin knows just about everything there is to know about Google and leveraging it to its max. But that wasn't learned overnight. He didn't just take some 5-minute online course and say, "Oh, I'm a Google expert." No, it's years of him using the platform, making mistakes, learning new things, trying tricks. I wonder if this will work. It didn't work before. Let me try this. And so we have to understand that part of the value that we're bringing is the knowledge that we've learned along our journey. Just like with a mechanic, yes, you should pay that mechanic 2 hours of labor to replace your alternator, even though it took him an hour, because part of what you're paying for is the fact that he went to school, got certified, has the training and the ability and the knowledge and the experience to be able to get it done in an hour. Where you get someone fresh out of school, it will probably take them 2 hours.
Or you try to do it, it's going to take you 4 and cost you some skin off.
Right. And I think that's something that we run into a lot of times is we do look at it, just like that mechanic. He's like, "Oh, well, I can knock that out, no problem." It doesn't mean that he's worth less. And we have to remember that as entrepreneurs, as small business owners, from the customer standpoint, part of their value proposition isn't only the services or products that we provide, but it's also that I don't have to go learn all that. I think of my uncle that had to do, he worked for Data General. He was a computer chip and computer board designer, went on to work for Bell and Howell. That's what he spent his whole career doing. He had to continually go back to school every year to get recertified. Right. Every year, taking 3 to 4 classes at college to keep his certification. Who wants to do that? I don't. If I didn't have my background, I spent 25 years in automotive dealing with way too many different CRMs. That's why I know CRMs. Now, if you'd like to go spend 25 years in one industry working with every CRM there is out there, by all means, go right ahead. Or if you want to, take advantage of what I've learned in 25 plus years and how I've implemented it and how I'm delivering it through our CRM product, that's part of what you're paying for. You're paying for that knowledge and that history and that experience that comes along with it. And it can, a lot of times it's easy to undervalue ourselves and undersell ourselves. But we do need to realize that, hey, each of us in our own regards in this call are industry leaders. And not only that, we're thought leaders. And that's what really sets us apart is we don't just say, "Oh, well, this is the solution." We're like, "Okay, this is the solution. Now what comes next? How can I make this even better?" And that's what makes us true thought leaders, is that we're not just stopping where we're at and what we've learned. We're always pushing ourselves to go one step further.
Right.
Sometimes we make mistakes and we have to back up. Okay, that didn't work. Let me try something else. But that's what makes us not only industry leaders, but thought leaders within our own respects in our own industries. And I think you really have to take a step back and look at it when you're trying to evaluate what your true monetary value is. You need to take all that into consideration, because I'm certainly, you go to content management, social media content management. Someone that's fresh out of high school or college versus someone that's been doing it for 5 years, I expect to pay the 5-year veteran more money because they have the same education, but they also have more experience, which means that they've dealt with more brands. They've done more A/B testing. Like they have been through the trials. They know what works and what doesn't in what industries. They've got the background. They've got that experience.
Right.
The person straight out of school doesn't. Doesn't mean they're any less qualified technically. It just means that that's part of what you're paying for, is that experience.
Sure. Sure.
I totally
just-
agree with that. I totally agree
I
with that.
started adding up the gray hairs, and it's another $1 for each one.
There you go.
Yeah, that's how you should do it. Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I
haven't
totally.
got the gray hairs anymore. I just stopped. I started graying at 16. At that point, I'm like, it is what it is. What it is.
No, but I'm using it to assess my value because I have the gray hair. I'm more valuable now. See, because I have more wisdom.
Well, each grey hair stands for a problem that you or a time in your life where you've tried something, it's failed, and you've learned from that lesson.
There you go. That's what I'm.
That's basically what it is.
I remember being in college, and I was taking, I want to say it was an economics course, and my next course after that was a marketing class. And the way they explained it was very technical, and they said all the right information. It just didn't make any sense in my brain, right? And then working, and all of a sudden, oh, this is what you meant by distribution center. Oh, okay, I got it. Oh, this is what you meant by the product knowledge. Oh, okay, and the real world application of it. And I think I can speak for me. I've been in so many different industries over the course of my working life that I've kind of seen it all, right? And I can tie, the dots together, and I can clearly understand the through process, which we're talking about marketing, and we're talking about Google, we're talking about social media and the CRM. Like in my brain, I'm like, oh, it's just one big circle.
It is.
And you're talking to people, and they're like, all of this stuff doesn't make sense. I'm like, it makes perfect sense to me. What you're talking about?
Yeah, right there, that specific thing. This morning, I had a couple, they own a limousine company. We were at a meeting, and she stood there waiting to talk to me while I finished talking to somebody else. And I said, how can I help you? And she says, well, everybody says you're the Google guy. You're the Google guy. She says, but we're spending like $4,000 a month on Google ads. I went, what? I said, what are you getting out of that? She goes, maybe that much. I said, so you're breaking even on $4,000 a month in Google ads. She said, yeah. So we started chatting for a minute. They're going to hire me to do the 2-hour Google training with them. But I said, so the first thing we got to do is get logged into your Google business profile. And she goes, oh, I got a letter about that. They said it's been suspended. Do I need to do anything about that? You're spending $4,000 a month on ads, and you don't have a Google business profile that's actively serving up to customers right now?
I mean, wow.
They just don't know what they're doing. They have no idea. So Cortez, when you say if they don't understand all these different pieces, no, they don't. But to us, we're like, that's the most obvious thing in the freaking world. Why wouldn't you? How can Google even let you run $4,000 a month in ads if your business profile is suspended? I don't even.
I don't think it's Google, but that's not in my business. So I'm going to take a step back. Yeah. Ironically, I'm doing a webinar tonight. It's an operations management webinar for my business coaching clients. And I'm going to talk about Google. I'm going to talk about social media. I'm going to talk about the CRM. I'm going to talk about the throughput of the marketing. And in my opinion, I don't care what you do. Call it marketing, call it advertising. I don't care what you do. If you are not seeing a return on your investment, you are wasting your time. Show me the money. I am really big on show me the money, right? Better have my money. And I don't mean it to be greedy. I mean it because there has to be, why are you wasting all this energy and time? What is it for? Right? And the CRM component, I have an operations background, and in my brain, if you don't have a CRM, why are you even in business? Why are you even in business if you have nothing that's going to track and quantify all of the work that you've done? So, Charles, talk a little bit more about what you've been hearing and seeing as far as your clients going through that process.
Yeah, it's. I completely agree with you. I tell people all the time, you do not build a house without first laying a foundation. I don't care if it's slab, crawl space, basement, whatever. You have a foundation to your house. That's why your house is standing. If you just built a house on the ground, it would eventually start sinking and shifting, and you would soon not have a very nice home. Your business is the same way. Except the difference is the foundation is systems and processes. You have to have systems and processes, because one, data is king. Data tells you everything. Anything that this whole panel does is all based on data. We don't just throw stuff at a wall and say, oh, well, that should work. No, it's all based on data. That's where we can tell where our return is coming from. What's working from one person may not work for another person, but you don't know if you don't have the data. And it all boils down to customer service. It all boils down to that. You can't have customer service if you don't have data. You can't have customer service if you don't fully see and visualize the customer journey. You can't have customer service if you don't have good communication. And I don't mean by saying, hey, we only do emails. We'll communicate with you all day on email. Maybe I don't like email. So you're telling me my money's no good because I don't like email? Your communication channels should be as wide open as possible so that the customers can communicate with you the way they want to communicate. It's not about you. It's about your customers. It goes to customer service. And so when you have a CRM platform that pulls all this together for you, not only can you get a better insight of your customer journey so you can figure out what's working, what's not working, what their actual experience is like, how many pages are they having to go to actually even buy something from you or schedule a call with you, but then you can also see where you're losing opportunities because it's data. You can see how many times is this working or not working? Should I send this email or that email? How am I communicating with these people? One of the most frustrating, I came from a sales background. One of the most frustrating things for me was when I get transferred a customer and the previous salesperson had been talking to him on Facebook. Guess what I can't see? That whole Facebook conversation. Guess what I can't hear? Their phone calls. I have no idea what this person has quoted this person over the phone or through Facebook. I'm coming into it at a huge disadvantage right from the top.
Yep.
And so when you're able to channel all these communication channels into one place, again, it goes to that customer service because it doesn't matter. Any one of these people, and they've never been inside my CRM on my side for my company. But because of the way our CRM works, any of them, I could say, hey, could you talk to this person? And within a couple minutes, they would know exactly what's going on and how to proceed.
Right.
That's transparency. That's customer service. Right. I shouldn't have to tell a customer, say, oh, hold on, I need to go check with your previous person to see what they told you and hope to God they remembered, because guess what? They're not going to remember. We talk to way too many people to remember every conversation. A customer, on the other hand, they will remember everything you said.
Everything.
I don't care
Everything.
if those ago. They will quote you on stuff.
You said it on February 28th at 2:52 p.m.
I've seen it time and time again. But it all leads to that customer service. And Henry Ford, you guys know how I love my Henry Ford quotes. But he was he knew a thing or two about business. And he said the business that solely focuses on service, and he was talking about customer service, will only have one problem when it comes to profits. They'll be exceedingly large. Because no matter how digital we get, people still want that service.
Yep.
You can have the best product, best, service that you provide in the world. You could be number one. If you have horrible customer service, nobody's going to stick with you and your business will fail.
Yep.
Guaranteed every time. But it all starts with pulling all this stuff together, having that communication in one place, and really being able to provide the best that you can for your customers, because they expect the best and they deserve the best.
In my seminar, when I talk about operations, I specifically speak about your SOPs, right? What is your operating procedure? How does it start? How does it finish? Where's the in between? And I really focus on I'm a big note taker. 5 years ago, I can go back and find the email or transcript of something that we communicated with and said, no, you said this, right? I'm really big on that because I have to, because I don't want to remember, because I'm special. And I don't remember a lot of things.
Good catch. Good catch.
But you know, that whole process, when it comes to marketing and business and advertising and creating clients and creating leads, right? Like, I want to scale, but I can't scale if I don't even know where I'm at today.
Mhm.
And I have so many clients. I come in there and I have a meeting with them. I'm like, okay, so what's your process like? Where are you now? And they're like, well, I'm like, okay, so how are you getting clients? Well, and then you walk around and people are writing stuff on a notepad. I'm like, so where does this note go once you finish with the notepad? Oh, it's just still on the notepad. I'm like, so if the office burned or Johnny stole your notepad, you'd be kind of screwed. Well, I'm like, oh my gosh, how can you live like this? So yes, I appreciate the CRM portion of it. I had a
Well,
lady,
even when you go to advertising, like, you know, we were talking about earlier, you know, Facebook ads, Google ads. I can't tell you how many times I've looked at people, and Facebook ads can be complicated, but you know, when you're doing lead forms, it's pretty simple once the ad is up and running. But I can't tell you how many times they're like, well, I see I'm getting leads, but I have no clue where they're at. I'm like, well, there's a place in Facebook ads where it shows everybody that submitted that form, and they're like, oh, well, I had no clue. I'm like, well, for one, we could automate all that, but on a totally separate note, how many of those people do you think are going to actually buy from you now? They submitted a form a week ago. Well, I'll email them and call them. It ain't going to matter. You're going to have to slash your price and undervalue yourself by so much to overcome what should have been done in the first place.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, and I say this all the time, people are people. People make mistakes, but people are also lazy.
That's not the word I'm going to use, but
I'm the worst. I'm one of the worst. I am lazy as all get out.
Dang.
That's why I have an automation that sets after I get off a call. Guess what? I click a link, it pops up a form, and it lets me type in my notes, type in some notes to the client, click send follow-up email, and it's done. It marks my appointment shown, interested, demo completed, sends them a follow-up letter, sends them a text message. Hey, here's my contact card. Save it to your phone. It does everything for me because I don't want to go through all that myself. I'm lazy. So I just automate the whole thing. But it's people appreciate that. That's adding to that value. I'm like, holy cow, this guy just texted me, said thanks for the call, sent me his contact card, sent me a follow-up email with the recording of the call plus some highlights. Like, man, this guy is on top of it.
And people remember that.
They do.
People remember, even if they say something like, oh, you sent me all this stuff. They remember the fact that you sent them the stuff and that you continuously follow up and try.
I've literally had people get off the call saying they weren't ready. And 30 minutes later, they're signing up simply because of that follow-up.
Do you know what? For
They're
me,
like, I need that. Like, I don't know what you're doing, but I need it.
yeah, for me, they're what's called the non-essentials essential. You know what I mean? The things that are essential that seem non-essential, like the silly little things. Like, I know when my clients' birthdays are, so I'll send them a birthday card. It cost me £3 from Moonpig, but they remember me.
Yeah.
The non-essential essentials really, really work massively, and that little follow-up, that little email, that little thank you for your call today, that little something that doesn't just assume that they were, great to just have you on the call, so they should just be happy with that, makes all the difference. So I completely understand why CRM is definitely something that needs to be in your business.
I've gotten a lot of I like to follow up maybe the 3 to 6 months, depending upon if they give me a hard no, because no, there's never a no. No, this means not today. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, you're saying no today, but I'm going to get you eventually. It might take a longer extended period of time, but I'll send a little email or text message or, hey, just thinking of you. Happy holidays. Hope to see you again. Hope things are going well. And I can't tell you the amount of people that a year later, they're like, hey, Cortez, do you still do that thing? I'm like, you mean marketing and merchant processing? Yes, still do it.
Yep.
still a thing. And they're like, yeah, I need that. And I'm like, oh. But
I've
it'll
got
be like this-
salespeople that they have, I build out kind of a long-term nurture
Mhm.
pipeline for them. And I said, look, you're probably not going to get anything out of it the first 90 days. I said, but once you start finding these people that are like, no, not right now, call them tire kickers, whatever you want to call them. They're just not ready to pull the trigger today. Just put them into that long-term follow-up. Send them an email every week to 2 weeks and just follow up. Don't beat them to death. Don't try to sell them. Just let them know you're still there. Offer a tip or something. Here's some free advice. Here's a free tip. After about 90 days of you filling that pipeline, guess what starts to happen? You start having people reactivate out of it. And every month, I mean, I've seen, finance people, insurance brokers, real estate agents, automotive sales, all these different sales, very sales-based industries, they end up getting anywhere from an additional 5 to 10 sales a month just off a long-term follow-up. Because you're the only name they remember, because every other salesperson stopped following up with them.
Right.
Oh, you're not ready to buy? They'll try a couple more times. After the second no, they're like, this person's never going to buy.
And leave
But
it
that
alone.
person that just send an email, maybe an occasional text message. Hey, how's it going? Just wanted to check in, see if you need anything. Hope you have a great day. If you're in town, stop by, have a coffee. Love to chat with you. It's not about sales. It's about building relationships. And
building the relationship. Now,
takes time.
Do you utilize, I know we send emails and we're sending the text messages. Social media actually has been kind of my communication for a lot of my business contacts now. Sean, I know that that's kind of your forte in your company. What do you guys encourage or use as your process to kind of keep that communication going?
There's a couple of things that we sort of teach and get through. So obviously you've got to have a look at, there's an etiquette to certain platforms, and depending on the platform that you're on, you've got to kind of adhere to that etiquette. So for instance, Cortez with the networking beast, essentially when you look at networking, that's how you want to be looking at your LinkedIn profile. So with a LinkedIn, I'm pretty sure everybody in this call, anybody that's listening, definitely would have had somebody come and say, hey, I like what you're doing. I'd like to, to connect. And then you connect to them. And the next thing you know, you've got the next 3 chapters of Harry Potter's new book and how they're going to help you, how much it's going to cost for them to help you. And let's have a call. And then you just do what's normally done. You just ignore it. And then what happens next is they'll hammer your DMs again. Hi, just, did you get my last message? Well, I got my last message because my little face dropped and you could see that I saw it. So with LinkedIn, a lot of it is just making sure that you're treating it like you would networking. And I follow people. This is how it works. I follow people and I get involved in what they're doing. So for instance, if I was going to want to work with Robin, I'd follow Robin and I'd drop a couple of comments in what he's putting out there in his post, and you'll notice that I'm doing that. I guarantee during this time he'd have gone, who's this Sean guy that's following me, what's going on with that? And he'll have a look at my profile, and the minute they've looked at your profile, you then want to say, hey, thanks for having a look at my profile. I really love what you're doing. I've been interacting for a while. And if he's doing complete social listening and he's saying thank you very much for engaging and he's looking into who I am, I then ask if I can connect with them and if they'd like to have a one-to-one to try and to see if there's anything I can do to help them, and vice versa. And that's where that works. That's where you build a relationship. The problem with social media is too many people think that it is just putting a post out there and hoping for the best. There are so much more work for you to do. So when you do a post and you put out what you're doing and it's all nice and it's fantastic and you've got that engagement, you've got to social listen, and that is making sure that you are interacting with the people that are talking to you.
I'll let him go.
Something going on in the room there.
It's business over there. One of the things I was talking to Charles about the other day, I was complimenting him. I've been seeing more posts in multiple media platforms. And I said that for this year, that's something that I kind of wanted to make sure that I duplicate. I've been doing it for all my other clients. I've been doing it for myself. But I wanted to compliment you. I know, Robin, that you are getting back out there. You were having the LinkedIn thing for a while. We're waiting for the book to come out, and then we're going to have it one more time. But talk to us a little bit about some of the opportunities that you're going to be creating, any of you, for 2023, as far as social media that ties into your business and kind of pushing you forward to the next level.
Yeah, I think that the getting the book finished and having it in my hot little hand is going to create a huge amount of leverage for me. And I'm planning on starting right here in my little local community with the Chamber of Commerce. You know, we have a meeting every month, 65, 70 people show up. I'm sponsoring that meeting in, I think, May or June, and we're going to do a book signing, right? So there'll be, 10 people can win copies of the book with a signature on it. Everybody else has to pay for it. But, getting out there and speaking in front of people, the thing that really changed in the last 2 weeks, I think, I spoke at the Chamber last February, and this month I just came across that folder that the kid who videotaped me shared. And so here's 3 different angles of me giving this 45-minute long speech about Google. And I'm kind of a good speaker. And so I started looking at it and I'm thinking, this is quality. So I formatted my video editing software into a vertical format, and I grabbed some of those clips, and I'm talking just 8 to 10, 15 seconds maybe of clips of me talking about each of these specific things. Like, think about your Google listing as the yellow pages. You couldn't have, Los Angeles entries in the Houston yellow pages, or it would have been 2 miles thick, right? And Google only wants you to use it for local search. Well, I talk about that, and it's like a 12 or 15 second clip. And when they started getting posted on social media, now LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, people are seeing me speak. And we just had another person yesterday who had a great slide presentation, and 90% of what she did was read from her slides. And people that have to book the person that's speaking need to know that that's not the person they're bringing in to their corporate event, right? So having video of me out there being animated, talking with my hands, going from side to side, speaking to the whole room, being just adamant about the importance of this stuff, those little 15-second clips are getting in front of the right people now. So I'm priming up my pipeline to say, here's all this content showing that this guy is a professional speaker and that you can confidently hire him to come speak at your event and you're not going to be embarrassed, right? And so that's been that little change that happened, and those videos are out there now and they're starting to get posted, and I'm super excited about that because that's what they need to see. The person doing the hiring needs to see that.
100%. I apologize about that. My dog's decided to say hello to somebody. But no, 100%. I mean, that's the thing. Personal branding on social media is key. That no longer, you're getting suppressed now for just going on there and saying, this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is how to get in contact with me. People buy from people. So, you guys have all got great characters. You guys have all got great presence. And that's the reason why people know, like, and trust you. These social media platforms are just like networking. People need to build a relationship with you, understand who you are. But it's a tick box exercise. The first thing I explained to a customer today was, what's your email? And I kid you not, Robin, I had to think about you. Her email is, I'm not giving her name, but it's at gmail.com. And I was like, no, that right now they think you're in your bedroom, you're running around in your pajama bottoms, and you are this lady from the. You need to get a Google presence. You need to have an email address as well that is not Gmail. You need to have okay, so it costs me a little bit of money to have Sean at Be More Social or Sean at Missing Piece for my other business. These things do cost money, but when I hand over a business card, I don't have at Gmail, which I can have done, for whatever I want doing. You know, that you need to get a professional look, stand, and feel, so people trust what you're saying. And having a social presence is key now. It's massive. It's a massive key in order for people to know who you are. Because if I want to know what's going on with a CRM, or want to know what's going on with Cortez, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go on Google and I'm going to do a bit of research on him. That's where I find it. And if you're not out there doing it, and you can't be found when people do that research.
I had a merchant processing client that I was speaking to today, and I'm like, so listen, man, this is the deal. Like, they're gonna look at your Gmail and go, right? And then they're gonna go try to find your website, which doesn't exist, and they're gonna go, and if you have maybe you might have a Google My Business, which you didn't. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, that's like 3 strikes right there on the side. I'm like, I'm sure you're a legitimate business, but in the eyes of people who are looking at you who don't know you at all, they're like, yeah, no.
Hobbyist. You're a hobbyist.
Well,
Yeah,
and here's one thing that I'll point out, a little gem that Robin dropped that most people totally ignore. There's this huge push to start a company, go nationwide, go global. I want to be nationwide. I want to be global. How many of you caught the fact that he started everything with the Chamber of Commerce? Here's why his marketing, and I don't call it advertising because it's not advertising, it's marketing. He is the mayor of his town when it comes to Google.
Yep.
And more people need to understand how that works.
Yep.
We get into this, and listen, social media is great, but you can take all these things that you're doing in your local community, becoming the mayor of your town in your own respect, and then expand that and show people what you're doing in your local area. And I promise you, it will draw people in like crazy. I've seen it time and time again. I did it when I was in automotive. Anytime I saw a car wash, a kids fundraiser car wash, I would go live. I go live on my Facebook. Hey, they're out here washing my car. This is what the cause is. It had nothing to do with my career. Nothing. But it was me supporting my community. It was me getting involved in my community, but when anybody thought school board, local chamber, local businesses, parts stores, when they needed new trucks, guess who they came and saw?
Yep.
Me. And I wasn't the cheapest.
Yep.
I delivered great service, but it all originated from becoming the mayor of my town. I had people from all over the country. I had people from Canada coming to Tennessee to buy a vehicle from me that they could have bought in a whole lot of other places between Canada and Tennessee. But they saw how I was connected to my community. They saw the passion, and they're like, holy cow, this person knows what they're doing, because they're not forgetting where they came from. Right. People appreciate that. And I think you really do have to take a moment to realize that, yes, you can go national, you can go global, but you need to not forget about your own backyard. Because honestly, if you can't sell the people in your own community, you probably have some problems with your delivery or your product or service. And it's a great testing ground, because a lot of these people you already know.
Right.
You already have established relationships. You go to church, maybe you eat at the same restaurant all the time. Your kids play sports together, whatever the case may be, and say, hey, I know you do this. You're my target customer. Would you mind giving me a little slack, but let me tell you kind of what I'm doing and see if it's something you'd be interested in. And then I just want your honest feedback afterwards. All that's going to do is make your journey to going national or global even easier. And they're going to be a whole lot more forgiving, than someone that has no connection to you whatsoever. I tell people there's a reason why realtors, auto sales, finance, insurance, all these commission sales positions, you want to know why they go to family members first? It's not because you're the easiest. It's because they know they can get away with more mistakes with their family members than any other normal customer.
Right.
Why aren't we doing the same in our businesses every day?
And that's fine. Well, that's what they need people like us for, to
Right.
to just remind them, yo, you gotta start from the bottom.
Well, and
Work your
take
way
it
up.
take it one more step, Charles, on top of, working the Chamber of Commerce, which, if my Chamber of Commerce, we're just a little community, but if you went to every event and everything that they had, you would need a full-time, it's a
gosh.
full-time job. It's like 40 hours a week minimum, right? But I also volunteer in my community. And I'm not just reaching kids, I'm volunteering to help seniors, right? So
Mhm.
here's this big, event that goes on every Wednesday at our local library, where this guy shows up and teaches computer classes to seniors. Do you know the buzz that we've generated between the library, the senior center, and every old folks neighborhood in a 10-mile radius? They're like freaking out that there's this computer class going on. And it's, of course, it's on Eventbrite, and it's got my company logo and my name all over it. And it goes out on patch.com because they didn't pick it up from Eventbrite, but I contacted my patch.com guy and said, hey, this is what's going on Wednesdays. So every Wednesday, my networking meeting is there at 8 a.m. on Patch, and my 11 o'clock computer class is there every Wednesday morning on Patch. So showing that commitment to serve your fellow man, that smells great to people, and they really like that. So I appreciate you pointing it out. I don't do it for any reason except it's who I am. It's just,
Right.
Working and serving in my local community is in my fabric, right? But what you pointed out is actually true, that you have this system you build in your little sandbox, and you get to try it and fail and try it and fail and reassess and try it and fail, so that when you do hit that global scale, when all of a sudden people go, wow, who is this guy? And the virality starts happening and you start going crazy, you can trust your systems and your processes because you worked through those years of doing it locally and getting it down to a science.
Yeah, and you're getting reviews, you're getting reputation, all from the whole time you're doing this. I mean, you're not stifling your business growth by any means. I promise you that. By saying, hey, I'm going to focus hyper local, and once I feel like I've done everything I can hyper local, then I'll start to branch out more. All you're doing is building the baseline to set yourself apart from every other competitor there.
right.
Because you're going to walk in, like where I live in a small town like Robin, out between a cow pasture and cornfield. And, Nashville's an hour away. Chattanooga's an hour and a half away. If I built my business on the backs of my local community, nobody in Nashville would probably know who I was. But as soon as I walk into that meeting with the CEO or a founder of a company and I say, hey, here's our social proof, here's our reputation, they're going, holy cow, how have I not heard of you?
Well, like you said, they're going to immediately go and Google you. All that's going to come up. All of your connections and all of your interactions and your affiliations are going to show up, and they're going to go, oh, this guy's the real deal, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why Robin and I can confidently say, go Google us.
Yeah, just Google me.
What's your website? Don't worry about that.
No, just Google me.
Yeah.
You'll find me. Promise.
Family, I gave us an hour. I know that we're all extremely busy, but I first of all want to say thank you so much for hopping on. I just love fellowship with you guys. So I appreciate you taking some time out of your day. I'd love to have something like this again when we all have some time. I mean, we could talk about everything forever.
Set it up, dude. Set it up.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. 100%.
I want to end with telling Charles one thing that I don't know if you can figure out a way to do this virtually, but one of my guys that does CRM stuff locally, he's actually an insurance agent. His wife's a VA and she does the CRM stuff. But in a local meeting, he came in early and he said, okay, so here's a box of hand sanitizers with my name on it. And here's a box of pens with my name on it. Here's a box of my deck cards telling what kind of insurance we sell and stuff. He says, when I start talking, I want you to randomly go from person to person around the table, put one item, and not the same item, but pick people, put a flyer, put a hand sanitizer, put a pen. So as he's talking, he goes, so what is a CRM? What Robin's doing right now is what a CRM does for you without having to be in the same room with people. He's keeping my information in front of you while I'm carrying on doing my business. I thought, this guy's a genius. This was such a great way to describe what a CRM does. So now, if we could figure out a way to do that virtually and show people, like, dropping stuff into their email or their text messages while we're in the meeting with them, right? Hey, did you know Charles does this? Hey, did you know Charles does this? It's like, my CRM's working you right now. Did you just get a text from me? People
It's so funny because my first, I have the long-term follow-up. That's a 52-week follow-up process.
Yep.
Text and email. My first text message is, and they're all tips on things that you can do with the platform or best practices in general. So it's all value. But my first one that goes out is, did you know that you can automate this follow-up? Don't believe us? Check your email.
There you go.
Because you already got an email in there.
There you go. That's good. I like that. That's very good.
That's how it works. That's how you do it.
I may use that one right there, dude. Thank you.
I'm going to say goodbye for now. I hope that we see each other all on Friday for the morning virtual networking beast. But if not, you guys have a great week. I appreciate you. I love you.
You'll send us the link, right?
I'm going to put it in a drive folder and I'm going to share it with everybody.
All right, cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, I have that first Friday meeting is this Friday, the one at the chamber, the big one, but I'll boogie out at the end. I might be a little late or start in at the car, but I'll be with you.
I'll be waiting for you.
All right, guys.
Have a good week, guys. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Appreciate
Good
y'all.
seeing you.
Ready to generate more leads from your website, Google, and Facebook without having to spend money on ads? Our platform provides you with an easy-to-use communication stream that sucks in free leads from your website, Google, and Facebook, enabling you to reply and convert them into customers from your computer or from our mobile app. Once you've converted a satisfied customer, you can shoot them a Google review request with a click of a button, which will explode your positive reviews and increase your position in search engines. The system will also pull new reviews from Google and Facebook right into your conversation stream, where you can read and reply. Jumpstart your business by getting started today.